Great to have Coach Izzo here with us, and certainly you know the personnel with his team, including Cassius Winston, trying to do something that no one has ever done. 2,000 points and 1,000 assists in his career. Gets Joshua Langford back from an injury and looking to get to back-to-back Final Fours, bring in an outstanding recruiting class. Coach Izzo is with us alongside Joshua Langford and the reigning Conference Player of the Year, Cassius Winston, preseason Conference Player of the Year as well. Welcome, fellas. Good to have you with us. Let's talk first about the expectations. They're massive. I was just talking about with Mark Turgeon. They've got the same thing. You know, people are talking about Maryland as a Final Four team. People are talking about you guys as a national championship team. We discussed this a little bit when you were with us for the tailgate show. But how do you deal with that with a team? What do you say when everyone says this is the best team in the country? This should be the national champion.
Well, I do tell them that I accept that. I think it's a great thing for our program, for our players. But I also know that, right now we've got some questions. You know, Josh is coming off of 7 months out. And we did lose 30 points and 15 rebounds with Kenny, Nick, and, of course, Matt McQuaid. So we've got some question marks, but we got a good team, and we got strength on the perimeter. We need to find a four-man that we're going to use, and if we do that, I think the really good team could be an elite team.
I'm interested in both of your guys' takes, and I'll start with you, Cassius, on kind of that same notion of being the hunted, of being the team that everyone's shooting for.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to remember the things that got us to this point. All the hard work, all the time, the mindset that we had of being an underdog and working to get to this point. You got to remember that same work ethic, all the things that got you there. If you keep that same mentality, it's a good chance you're going to keep building forward.
Joshua, Coach Izzo mentioned your injury last year and your long road back. Give us a sense of where you are basketball-wise in terms of being ready to return to the form you had last year in November and December.
I'm back in practice, and things are going well in practice. Just taking it one day at a time, taking it slow, not trying to rush myself, and just being patient in the process and understanding that it is going to take time. But, by the grace of God, I will be able to be back to where, I was before.
What have you seen in practice so far?
Well, he's really made some great strides. I mean, you think having 7.5 months off, and now he's playing kind of full go. What I mean by full go, just about every practice he's doing more and more live stuff. But he brings an element to the game that we haven't had, and that's that a two-way player that can score it, can run, and can defend. And so you need two-way players, that's for sure. And we think Josh is one of the best we've had, and yet we've got to be patient with him too. It's not going to all come back in 3 weeks or a month and a half, but I'm hoping by the time we get in December in Big Ten play, he's at he'll be at full strength, but he's back to normal too.
I think there's no doubt that people are going to come into this year, and that's going to be one of the biggest questions that they want to see answered externally. But I think sometimes our questions are oversimplified because we obviously don't know the team in the way that you guys do. You've scheduled so ambitiously, as you do every year, Duke and Kentucky and Seton Hall and Maui. What are the questions, aside from Joshua's health, that you're going to be looking for early on to give you a sense of just how good this team is?
Well, number one is, do we stay humble? And as Cassius said, do we work the same way? I mean, it's easy to say that, but it's hard to do it when everybody's throwing all these accolades at you. Remembering where we come from is probably what all of us need to do. And if we do that, we have a better chance for success. But I think one of the big things is who comes along at the 4 spot, which guy between Marcus Bingham and Thomas Kithy, or we could go small and go with Gabe Brown. We could go with our 2 freshmen. And if we do that, we'll be a little young at that spot. But thank God we got enough veterans around them that I think it makes the transition a little easier, especially when you got a great quarterback.
You do have a great quarterback, and there was some question as to whether or not you'd have that quarterback back. I mean, you're the first-team All-American to return to college since Doug McDermott back in 2012. What made you decide to come back, Cassius?
It's like I said, I love the university, and I love the things that we had a chance to accomplish. You don't get a chance to do those things often, so to come back was pretty easy. I felt like there was a lot of areas I could have got better at. Strength-wise, conditioning-wise, things to help me, in the next step. But other than that, it's a chance to have a really good team, really good coach, and do some special things that you don't really get a chance to do.
Joshua, where have you seen the biggest growth in Cassius's game?
I think the biggest growth I've seen in his game is probably his him vocally. I think coming in, him vocally and his body. I think coming in that, we already knew how good of a player he was with scoring the ball and finishing around the rim and making plays. But, vocally he's become better. And then with his body, I think he really took the time, to really get better with that.
Josh coming back from the injury. Kyle Arnes got hurt at the end of last year, too. Where is he in terms of his progress?
Arnes, I think you'd all agree, has had maybe as good a summer. He was out half the summer. But his summer and fall, he's been very, very good. He's got his athleticism back. He can really shoot the ball. He'll be a great addition along with Aaron Henry, who I think has made some improvements with his strength. But back to what Josh said, I think Cassius' strength and, keep growing as a leader. You always got to find things to keep everybody motivated. And I think, keep working on his defense. For Josh, it's really getting healthy. For those other guys, it's now stepping up that next level. These guys know how to step up another level. Is Aaron going to step up? Is, Gabe going to step up, And I think Xavier Tillman, who we didn't talk about yet, he too has had a good summer, has spent time getting better with his shot, but he's got to get a little better with his back to the basket moves now, because we had a guy like Nick Ward, we could just throw it inside. So we've got all the pieces. It's just a matter of putting them together, and I guess that's part of my job, and their job is to stay humble, and as Cash said, don't forget what got us where we got.
Give us a sense for the freshmen. Rocket Watts, of course, comes in with a lot of hype. Who can contribute, and what roles do you see them playing?
Well, I think these two guys would agree that Rocket has been he's been good for us. He's really made some improvements as far as very good passer, huh, guys? A lot better passer than maybe I thought he would be. And his nickname is Rocket, and I think
that's not his given name, huh?
Well, he's got a great first step. Yeah. He's got as good a first step as you need. And then, we go with the two, Malik and Julius Marble and Malik Hall. And those two guys are going to play. And they're two guys that are rugged, strong. One has a little better offensive skills. One's a little better rebounder and strength. So, I like the numbers. I think we're a deeper team right now. Whether those guys, Bingham, does he really come on? He's gained 20-some pounds, got sick and lost 5, but he's 20-some pounds lighter, so he moved up from real thin to just skinny. Now he's working towards, really putting some meat on his bones.
Joshua Langford, Cassius Winston, Tom Izzo. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. Best of luck. Looking forward to watching the Spartans compete this year.